I've been told that it's racist to tell people that it's predominantly blacks that die. I think it's racist to ignore that it's predominantly blacks that are dying. The racist people, Mr. Speaker, are those that act like this is not happening. This has nothing to do with other available jobs. They are selling drugs because drug selling is very, very profitable. The other thing, Mr. Speaker, is they are selling drugs because they have no fear of the police department, they have no fear of their district attorney, and they have no fear of their prison system. Mr. Speaker, when we make a farce out of the court system and a district attorney in Milwaukee County is too busy chasing John Doe investigations and not concerned about the epidemic of murder, crime, and drugs in their city, then what happens is the criminals stay on the street. Those criminals stay on the street and pick on and prey on the innocent citizen. If you actually have law enforcement and you have district attorneys that are more concerned about protecting the streets of your citizens, guess what? It could be done. Put the focus on it. Put your focus where it belongs and stop worrying about me. Your drugs, your crime knows no border.
It's bad enough, Mr. Speaker, that this release comes out, and you know, if the gentleman's misunderstood, he can certainly stand up and apologize. Say, look, I misunderstood. I didn't mean, give me the finger. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to make a motion to reprimand him. He just stood up. I'm sure Wisconsin and I will plainly show him giving me the finger. Now, what is wrong with you, Mr. Speaker? It's just reprehensible. But you know, he said so many things, Mr. Speaker, that are so offensive to me. Now, I come from a family that works in law enforcement every day. They put their lives on the line. So for him to besmirch their character like somehow the cops in Milwaukee are the problem, they don't work hard enough, they're not effective enough, that is just absolutely reprehensible. But Mr. Speaker, for him to stand up in this body, it just shows how little regard and respect he has for the people of this great state, to give somebody the finger on the floor of the legislature. What a sad commentary. I guess it speaks volumes about his ethical leadership. But for him to bring up people that every time they put on their uniform, put their life on the line, that somehow they're the problem, or the people in the district attorney's office that try to prosecute these very difficult circumstances, that is reprehensible. Mr. Speaker, I would hope that he would apologize for that action he just took, if nothing else. But it is totally inappropriate to give somebody the finger, for God's sakes, on the floor of the assembly.
In the heat of the battle, I made a gesture that is improper for the floor, and I apologize for that. I do apologize as 64 for the gesture. I apologize if you misunderstood my comments about the police department. I think the Milwaukee Police Department and Sheriff's Department are doing a fabulous job. Unfortunately, the chief doesn't seem to be as concerned. But then again, he is getting his leadership from Mayor Barrett, and Mayor Barrett has showed that his focus. As a matter of fact, Mayor Barrett was just in Washington, D.C. with President Obama on a gun issue. And instead of asking Obama for money to deal with the murders and the crime on the streets of Milwaukee, the last time he was there, not this time, he was asking for money for a tiny trolley. I'm sure that Mayor Barrett does care about crime. It's just that he's not showing it by his actions. So, Mr. Speaker, I do apologize for the gesture. I didn't like the way I was attacked, and now I know that's not the proper way. I should just stand up and use the facts to deal with.
I just wanted to come out here and talk about the great things that we did today, rather than focusing on the other issues that people unfortunately want to talk about. I mean, let's talk about the issues that are out there. Congratulations to this body today for passing legislation that is going to actually help people. Let's focus on what we are doing that is actually going to make people's lives better. Far too often inside this body, we devolve into discussing things that are important, but not necessarily always appropriate.